Good morning, everyone. Thank you. And good morning to everyone joining us on Altar for our live stream. We are glad you're with us. May the humanity that is within every human being be held more and more precious and be regarded with ever-deepening reverence. Welcome to the Ethical Society of St. Louis. I'm Rachel Jones, the volunteer chair for Platform this week, and I've been a member of the society for 4 years. My pronouns are she, her. Ethical humanist congregations provide the benefits of traditional religions, such as supportive and inspiring community, a commitment to shared values, and deeply meaningful engagement with people and ideas. But we do this without prayer or traditional ritual, respecting personal autonomy and freedom of thought. We are here to be human together. All are welcome to attend and participate. So that our program is not interrupted, please make sure your phones and other electronic devices are silenced. Each week, we ask a young member of our community to read the core values of SEEK, our Sunday Ethical Education for Kids program. And at this point, I would like to invite Lydia Dankel up to read them today.
Every person is important and unique. Every person deserves to be treated fairly and kindly. We can learn from everyone. We are part of this earth. We cherish it and all the life upon it. We can learn from the world around us by using our senses, mind, and feelings. We are members of the world community, which depends on the cooperation of all people for peace and justice. We can learn from the past to build for the future. We are free to question. We are free to choose what we believe. We accept responsibility for our choices and actions, and we strive to live for our values.
Thank you, Lydia. This year, we are exploring these core values as our annual theme, and the theme for September is Every Person is Important and Unique. The SEEK topic for today falls inside of that theme. It is appreciating our elders. In celebration of International Day of Older Persons, this week, our seekers are exploring ageism and other issues related to aging. Our K through second grade seekers are discussing the unique value elderly friends and family bring to our lives. Grades 3 through 6 seekers are learning about the physical process of aging by discussing what it looks and feels like to physically age. They are getting some hands-on experience by participating in simulations of several physical limitations people might experience as they age. Our friends in Coming of Age and Youth Group are wrapping up their Getting to Know You and classroom community building sessions and preparing to embark on their student-guided, staff-advised programming this year. Our platforms include a wide variety of music to inspire us and to celebrate human diversity and creativity. Please welcome Patrick Rafferty to our stage, who will be performing Serenata Española by Joaquin Malats.
It is wonderful to be back here again. It's been a while. I think I can say that for everybody. But thank you for being here.
Thank you, Patrick, so very much. We would now normally have opening words, but sadly our opening word speaker let us know that they are unable to come today. But if anyone would like to present opening words in the future, please contact James Croft or Andy Jackson. We are going to move straight on to our second musical selection, which is Andantino by Fernando Sor, performed again by Patrick Rafferty.
November 7th at the First Congregational Church in Clayton, I'll be doing a concert of 19th century chamber music for guitar, violin, and cello. And I will be playing period instruments, and that's why I brought this guitar, which was built around 1850. And it's a good example of what a guitar was at that time. It's a much smaller instrument, and as you'll hear, a rather different sounding instrument as well. But this would have been the instrument that the Andantino that I'm going to play was composed for.
Thank you for that transportative performance, Patrick. Before our main address, we like to take a moment to calm our minds and bodies. So I invite you to sit comfortably, relax, and enjoy 1 minute of mindful breathing. It is my pleasure to introduce Adam and Rob Rosen, who will be speaking to us about their experience as people with autism and as advocates for people with autism. Adam Rosen is a St. Louis-based composer, performer, and published author. Adam's first professionally produced show, Asperger's, a high-functioning musical, debuted to critical acclaim at the 2013 St. Louis Fringe Festival. Adam was diagnosed with high-functioning autism level 1 at 37 years old. In 2017, Adam co-organized the first Community Autism Expo in the history of the St. Louis County Library. Rob Rosen is a graduate of Missouri Baptist University with a degree in ministry and leadership. He was diagnosed with educational autism at the age of 16. In the last 3 years, Rob met the love of his life, got married, and with love and support from his family, bought a house together with his husband. In the future, Rob wants to use his degree to help the LGBTQ community understand the needs of those who are neurodivergent. Please welcome Adam and Rob Rosen.
Good morning. My name is Adam Rosen, and I am a composer and an author, and I am a speaker on the autism spectrum. And is there an echo? I'm sorry if there's an echo. We can fix that later. I co-wrote a musical in 2007 with my dad. And he and I wanted to do something related to my life, what I was going through. And so we ended up writing a show together about young adults struggling just like I was on the autism spectrum. And it turned into Asperger's, a high-functioning musical. And so what you're about to hear is a production number from the show called One of Them. And it is about the newest member of this support group named Claire, who has recently discovered that she is on the autism spectrum, and she has discovered this support group called New Horizons. And in this production number, she struggles with coming to the group and reckoning with what it means to be on the autism spectrum, and if this support group is going to accept her as a human being now that she is experiencing what it's like being divergent on an unfamiliar spectrum and not knowing what she wants to do with her life.
James, you want to turn off your speaker?
Here. Randall, why did you take just the center of that cinnamon bun? Because it's the best part.
Anybody have news to share?
Yeah, I just came back from my first Linux convention. There were special people there, and all these beautiful computers with the latest Intel i5 processors.
I just came back from the unemployed line.
Wow. There are so many special people in the world.
Jeez, do I have to be one of them?
All right, group. Are there any anniversaries to celebrate?
Well, it's been 2 years now since my school installed those ceiling fans in the cafeteria.
No, seriously.
He's not joking.
Well, the rest of you know what I mean. Lucas, how long have you been coming to the group?
I'd say probably a year now. Hey, can you believe a year has gone by since I learned how to calm my fears? I thought you were just a bunch of geeks, but really you are pioneers. I remember when the only friends I had were the comics on my shelf.
Knowing you're a part of something much bigger isn't easy by yourself.
You take one test and the rest of your life isn't what you thought. Then you're given a name that's supposed to explain every little work you've done. What am I doing? What is really true? Like really made me do. Going hands, hugging, kiss, you're my diagnosis. What am I doing? What is all of that? Can't really help. What kind of trauma will this bring on? And everybody speaks in Klingon? What if in the end I'm really gone? It's good news time!
Yeah, well, I just got a promotion. Went from the help desk to the IT department.
And what does it do in the IT department?
PC!
We are so proud of you, Lucas. Who am I gonna be? What are they gonna be? Will they try to be my friend? Making time right shoot and blab it everywhere. But now I'm stuck in fear. Someone tell me where do I go from here? 'Cause I don't wanna be a person. And I always have to wonder what the road led me. I don't wanna hear what the world's telling me. There are things I cannot think that should not bring attention to me. I never dreamed I'd meet so many people more like me.
I never dreamed that I actually like hanging out with you guys.
Speak for yourself, okay? I never dreamed I'd be able to hug people.
Who else wants to share? And a bunch of strangers have the answers I'm looking for. Even though I got the things that don't relate to turn around and run the door.
Oh, look,
We caught a live one.
what? She's not a fish.
If you don't throw them back.
Is this a new Horizons group? I don't mean to be rude. Please don't take this the wrong way. There's really nothing wrong with me.
And that's my favorite number from the show because I think it illustrates the human desire to want to be a part of a community, and also the desire to be connected to the larger world. And going to a support group, I think, facilitates those dynamics, especially with young people. I spent a long time struggling, being out of step with my peers, and being very interested in things like music, poetry, writing, and not feeling connected to my classmates in school. A very typical artist story. And this musical, I believe, has allowed me to fulfill a dream. I wanted to write a musical when I was very young, about age 12. And I was a huge fan of the musical Rent in the mid-90s. And I wanted to do something very similar, but I struggled in school, and I'm still catching up, actually. And I still don't know exactly what I want to be when I grow up. And but I've done a lot of growing up, having said, and I am overjoyed to be able to do something practical and proactive with telling my story. And I've been interviewed in books. I was recently interviewed for a book called Our Autistic Lives, Adults on the Spectrum from ages 8 to 80. And that's available on Amazon.com, by the way. And that is an example of how adults on the larger autism spectrum are choosing to get out there into the world, no matter how difficult it may appear to be to function in a typical way, given some of these challenges. And yet people out there across the world are doing this every single day. It's a matter of survival for many, and for the lucky few, which it shouldn't be the lucky few, it should be everyone should have the opportunity to flourish out in the world. I think we can all agree on that. My writing and my musical and focusing on what I do well, in my case, has allowed me to extend myself out into the world. And the musical has been one of the highlights of my life. But the other highlight of my life has been falling in love, developing a romantic relationship, and eventually getting married and purchasing a house together with my loved one, my now husband. His name is Rob, and I am going to pass the chair over to him and let him tell you his side of the story.
Okay. Got it. Hi, my name is Rob Rosen. I am the husband of Adam Rosen. I have autism, high functioning. I was diagnosed with autism educational disorder when I was 16. Didn't know what to expect in school with the services provided, and how to handle high school as an autism autistic person, and also how to make friends and navigate the world. I am also grateful that I met my husband through a dudes, diners and dives, gay men's social group. It helps me better understand how others on the spectrum date and learn. I used to be afraid of my autism disorder, but my husband helped me see the world in a better light. And now I see it as a gift instead of a burden, because I am good at technology and able to help others on the spectrum learn about technology. And as a person on the autism spectrum and being gay, I met challenges such as finding jobs, being able to exceed in the world and stand out for myself. When I came out about 4 or 5 years ago, my conservative Christian friends and family cut me out of my life because they didn't understand what it meant to be gay and autistic at the same time. It was a battle for me to find and make new friends that would understand the gay community and being autistic. I've learned that a lot of people don't understand autism, social skills, and social manners. Those lot of people will reject me and my husband because of the social manners and unable to follow boundaries and rules. So I am so glad today that James Croft was able to let us speak, and also was able to officiate our autism wedding in our backyard. I wanted to thank James for showing us how, well, being on the autism spectrum, we can teach each others with our skills and being successful, even if we're gay and different. I also want to point out that I'm grateful for my husband's musical. I hope one day he can get it on Broadway and extend the musical. And also in the future, I'm helping my husband succeed with his autism. I'm giving him the encouragement to talk about his poetry manuscript, and give him the encouragement to publish it out in the world, and not be afraid of being cyber bullied or bullied for his work. The Wizard of Oz helped me realize how Dorothy could find her way home, and that acronym helped me realize that I could find my way home in the world and succeed like Dorothy and her friend. And I want to also point out that autism is also a high functioning disorder where we are capable and able to succeed in the world like others and hold the job, get married, have a family, buy a house, and be successful. And sometimes even when our families don't think we're successful enough, they may not always see the bigger picture. And I want to turn back my speaking back to Adam. Give me 1 second. You don't bug, please. I can't hear. How did I do?
Rob did amazing, didn't he? I apologize, everyone, for not understanding that there was going to be a vocal echo, which makes communicating on the autism spectrum even more fun, right? And actually, that's an example of what it's actually like having a communication difference. It forces you to be focused, present in the moment, and to accept what is happening with radical acceptance. And radical acceptance has gotten me through many hard times in my life, being out of step with my peers and out of step with the larger world. And stepping out of my out of step life has become my framework, how to reframe a life that was disrupted by being so out of step from people's expectations, from the larger culture, and from our larger interests.
I am off, James. What's echoing? Turn off your speaker, please. Now speak.
Now I can finally hear without the echo. I'm sorry about that. I wanted to conclude my portion of our talk with stating that it has taken me 43 years to come to a place of acceptance of being out of step and deciding to step out of that. And so my future book is going to be called Stepping Out of My Out of Step Life. And this is a wonderful opportunity to practice being myself exactly as I am, and putting my creativity and my talent out there first, so that when you meet me, you see what I have been able to accomplish, not what I have been able to not do. And if you have any kind of invisible disability, if you're not in a wheelchair, and but there is an aspect of your life that creates barriers or challenges, it is critical that each of us focuses on our strengths and what we are good at. And the world as it exists does not sometimes allow us to do that. And we need to change that. And choosing to be proudly out of step and reframing my experience and my spouse's experience has allowed us to move forward in a very short period of time. We have been able to accomplish so many adult milestones. We are overjoyed about that. And it was because of the love and support of our family that we have been able to position ourselves where we should be. And that is people who are successful out in the world exactly as we are, without having to change. I think that is a very good place to conclude. I am really excited to hear people's question and answers. So I would like to turn over the program to the audience. If anyone has questions or answers about how Rob and I met, how we came to this period in our lives, how I came to write my musical, any questions that you have about neurodiversity or autism, please let us know, because I am happy to be a resource.
James says unplug the headphones now. I turn back on the speaker.
So before the question and answer, obviously we have the rest of the program to do, but I just want to thank Rob and Adam. They will be able to hear us if you applaud for them now. So can you do that? And I just wanted to apologize to them for the audio issues. This is the first time ever we have live streamed someone into a physical space and to people at home. So there are still some things we're working out, and you soldiered through that amazingly, both of you. So we appreciate you all the more for that. Thank you for joining us, and we'll get to questions in just a moment. I'll let you know when that is.
Okay. It was hard to do that with the echoing. Maybe my brain had to process the echo.
No, it was not easy.
Thank you,
Just
Adam and
mine.
Rob. We're not passing collection baskets right now, but if you're moved to make a donation today, you can do so at ethicalstl.org/donate. But don't feel like you have to. We recognize that this is a difficult time financially for many people. We have no announcements to share this morning. But we do have the pleasure of hearing our final musical selection, Choro No. 1 by Villa Lobos by Patrick Rafferty. Please welcome him to the stage. Thank you, Patrick, for being with us today and sharing your immense talent. And thank you for being here today, for each other and for yourselves. After this meeting, there is a discussion of the platform address right here in this room. Stick around to ask questions to Adam and Rob and to discuss with your friends. If you are joining us on Alter, we invite you to submit questions via the chat, and we will read them up here. If you would prefer some social time, please join us downstairs for coffee and a chance to gather together with friends. We have a shaded space on the patio so everyone can spread out a little more. If you are a new visitor today, we invite you to take a yellow mug so that we can welcome you. To end our program, I invite you to wave to those close to you, and I wish you a good week.
Minutes to allow people to scoot out and do what they want to do, and in about 10 minutes we'll come back and we can ask questions and answer questions if you'd like.
Got it.
So, Adam and Rob, well done.
You
did a great job. You don't need to you don't need to run back. I'm just saying thank you. You're not on the screen right now. I'm just making sure that you can hear me and all that stuff.
Yes.
Sorry about those sound issues. We're all learning together here. It's the first time we've done this, so we didn't realize that you would hear yourself speaking when you were speaking to us. I'm going to come up on stage in a second, so you should be able to see me too. But what we'll do is we'll put you up on the screen, and we've got a few people who will stay here in the room. We've already got some questions from online, but we'll start those in about 10 minutes. So take a moment to relax and get a drink or something. Thank you both. It was really fantastic. Okay, everybody, we will be starting the question and answer session with the speakers in a couple of minutes. So if you want to stay for that, please hang around here. If you don't want to stay for that, please take your conversation elsewhere because it becomes very difficult to hear. We love you very much, but you just can't stay here and be loved. You can go downstairs and have coffee. I will get our speakers back, so give me 1 second. Oh, that's awkward, isn't it? Wow. Yeah, I'm like, I don't like this. It's getting sort of infinite. Okay, Rob and Adam, I'm about to put you back on the stream and on the screen. Are you okay with that? Okay, can you speak a bit just to test that we can hear you?
Hello.
Okay, so let me.
Hello.
There we go. keep going.
Can you hear us?
Yes, we can now.
Not echoing.
Excellent. And I think they can hear you back at home. So I'm going to go back on the stage. Now, we've already had a number of questions from our friends on Altar. So I'm going to start with a couple of those while the people in the room are thinking of their questions. The incredible complexity of what we are doing right now is really astonishing to me. I still can't work out exactly where all the different pieces of this are coming from and going to. But we have two questions from Gualtieri, so let's ask the first one. Where and how did you meet?
In December of 2018, I got a message from the facilitator of the Gay Men's Dinner Group, and he called me up one day. I was still living at home with my parents. And he called me and said, Adam, I have a young man who really wants to talk with you. And he told me that he was a member of the Gay Men's Dinner Group and that he was looking to date people and that he was on the autism spectrum and he's really looking for help and assistance. Now, keep in mind, I have become an autism advocate and talking and speaking about my musical and about my life for a couple of years now. And so Tim, the co-owner of the Gay Men's Dinner Group, had known about me and known that I was a resource person that he could direct anyone to, and I would be more than willing to give and send resources to them about how to assist them in their journey. Whatever it may be, as long as it related to, being on the autism spectrum. And so I thought to myself, if Tim is saying to me that someone really needs to talk to me, I probably need to talk to them. And that was how I met Robert. And he had posted a note to the dinner group stating that, hello, my name is Robert, and I'm autistic, and I'm looking to date guys. Well, that sounded like a really great idea, the way he said it. And so I knew that it was really good timing for me to get to know Rob on an informal level and, have the chance to talk about, what it means to be comfortable in your own skin, no matter what your background, if you're wanting to date people, no matter if you're wanting to date, men or women, and what these specific challenges that occur when you find yourself on the autism spectrum and how those challenges need to be addressed when socializing and with dating. And it was through this for this accidental timing, I'll say it that way, that I came to meet my now spouse. And Rob was obsessed with The Wizard of Oz. I also was a huge fan of The Wizard of Oz. And so Rob actually thought I was flirting with him when I asked him about his interest in The Wizard of Oz. And he took that to be, oh, Adam's flirting with me. It just so happened that it worked out. It was a complete accident. But every once in a while in our lives, accidents happen and they turn out well. I'll let Rob take over.
Yeah, would you like to?
I met my husband at the Donnie's group. We met on Messenger. I thought he gave me a pickup line. So it was we started dating and meeting up, and he would come over to my place when I lived on my own, and we would hang out to different dates, go to the Donnie's group. And then we moved and got our own house, got married at the courthouse, and we've been together 2.5 years. It was just a lucky break that God put us in each other's lives.
Thank you both for that answer. It's so sweet, and it's lovely to hear that story again after having conducted your wedding ceremony not too long ago. Is there a question from the folks here in the audience that I can relay to Adam and Rob? Right, so I have to repeat every question so the people at home can hear, but the question was, is the musical still being performed or was it recorded? How can people find and see your musical, Adam?
Well, at this point, we have a Facebook page. If you go to Asperger's, a high-functioning musical, you can get connected to any future updates with our musical through Facebook. I would like to revise the musical for a full 90-minute commercial production. When you do a Fringe Festival, you usually have to condense your work to less than an hour. That's just the format of this kind of theater festival. It's very challenging trying to put on new commercial theater. The economics of it are extremely challenging given today's economy, and with the pandemic, it has slowed down artistic and cultural production. I can assure you all that I will be revising the musical in the next year or two. After the pandemic abates and we get back to some semblance of normal, it is my goal to turn the musical into a fully realized commercial production. I hope that you enjoy seeing an example of it. That's just one production number. The entire show is at that level. I know that I have it in me to do something big with it. And the reason I say that is not coming from a place of ego, but from a place of wanting to create and develop a sense of community for young adults and even older adults who discover that they are on the larger autism spectrum. And it is through telling our stories through art that we are all able to transform our lives. And entertainment and storytelling and theater is one avenue to do that. And it's going to become my life's calling, if you will.
That's so great to hear. Thank you for sharing that. We will put a new segment, since we're doing these question and answer sessions now, what we're going to do is we're going to put a new segment in our weekly email that will put links and other follow-up things from last Sunday's platform. So if you're signed up to our newsletter, we'll put a link to the Facebook recording of the musical, so people who are interested can take a look. That's an idea I just had now. Does anyone else have a yes, go ahead.
Oh, I was just giving you a thumbs up. I think that's a marvelous idea. Were you waiting for us to continue?
No,
or
no,
did
I
you
was
have
just taking a question from the hall, so you
Oh,
can't hear or see anything that's happening in the hall. So
Sorry.
So I will relate. It's one of the limitations we have right now.
Yeah.
I'll relate the question, which is, what is your advice for teachers who have autistic students in their classroom? How would you advise they work with those students and make the learning experience as good as it can be for them?
Well, that really is one of the most important questions that all of us, as a concerned society for its most vulnerable members, I think that the most important thing that teachers and also parents, people in authority, can do to better include young adults, children on the autism spectrum is to ask them what they need. It's so simple that we don't often think to do that. And so in terms of what specifically teachers can do, teachers need to find a way to be welcoming and inclusive with their curriculum and with their lesson plan. It is easier said than done. The devil, as they say, is in the details. But it really involves developing a mindset of being inclusive. And if that means changing and adapting your lesson plan and your curriculum so that every member of your class can participate, then perhaps that's what we need to be encouraging. And that also means that parents and other members, people in authority that are tasked with with protecting and developing young people's lives need to be thinking about how to be welcoming, affirmative, and inclusive. And developing the mindset of inclusivity, I think, is the most important framework for advancing the needs of the 21st century for all people. And I think the Ethical Society is already doing a marvelous job of that by thinking to invite members who from the community who are neurodiverse, which is what we are.
Did you have any thoughts about that question, Rob?
I think it's very important for teachers to understand students with autism, because when I was in high school, it was very a cliche where autistic people felt that they weren't welcome in regular classes and that IEPs were the answer to solve your problems. But I think nowadays that if you include autistic people in regular classes with an IEP help, instead of separating them in separate classrooms, to make the learning experience better, because they'll be included with the teacher, and the teacher can work around with the students to go get better social skills and manners and won't feel rejection. And bullying will be less. Include the autistic and people with disabilities in your classroom.
Thank you. That was really great, both of you. We have one more question from Louise on Alta, who asks, what advice would you give to people who are autistic and who are looking for friendship and community?
Excellent question. Thank you for asking that. I think that it is extremely important that parents and family members of loved ones on the autism spectrum give their loved one the space and the time to become fully comfortable in their own skin. And if that means that that young person is going to have to take longer to reach developmental milestones, we should encourage every single member of our families and of our larger communities to have the time to develop their creativity, to develop their skill sets, their talents, to become comfortable with who they are. And until you're comfortable with, being inside your own skin, you're not going to have the energy to want to put yourself out there in the world. And I think that means changing and shifting our mindset of what it means to reach developmental milestones, of what it means to be out there in the world. What does that even mean anymore, to put yourself out there in the world? We have 20th century mindsets that no longer serve the 21st century, and yet many teachers and parents are stuck with the mindset of the 20th century. Do you know what I mean? I think that that is really the larger perspective that we need to become aware of, that the needs of the 20th century no longer fit for the needs of the 21st century. And I think every person should slow down. What does it mean to slow down? It means we do not rush people into going to college right away. It means developing alternatives to college. I don't even know what that means yet. But I do know what worked for me and what worked for Rob was having the unconditional support of our family that allowed us to become comfortable in our own skin. It may mean encouraging every member of our society to go to therapy, to learn how to meditate, to learn how to slow down, to learn how to do storytelling, to learn psychology. All of these things are small bits and pieces of the larger puzzle of how do we remake the world as it is with the technology and the resources that we have at our disposal.
I feel like that was awesome preaching there from Adam. Did you want to say something, Rob? I saw you whisper in there. You don't
Just that with social manners and social skills, I learned that a lot of autistic people like me will get rejected by people. And that, as for example, like in the gay community, when I'm trying to make friends, a lot of people didn't understand the way that my social skills or my social manners work. They didn't understand that I do well communicating over text or texting and love to communicate that way and not just in person. And some of the gay elders didn't understand why autistic people love private messaging, and some of them couldn't handle. And I learned what it's like to get rejected by people. I've had people reject me in the gay community because they didn't understand autism. And it's been a battle trying to make friends with the gay community and keep friends and have people that actually understand my social skills and the way I work. A lot of autistic people like me have communication disorders where our brain processes faster than our mind can work. So basically, sometimes the information may come out wrong, or we may repeat, or we may not be able to retain what someone tells us the first time, or we may forget social boundaries or social skills, and it irritates people. They have to ask us so many times that they eventually get burned out and they'll walk away. But if more people understood and gave people more patience, then walking away would be lesser issues for people on the spectrum making friends and struggling with family.
Our two great answers. Louise also sends her thanks for those answers on Altar, so thank you both. So one final question. So yes, go ahead. Great. So the question, Adam, is about your book. How long is it going to be till you finish it, and what can you tell us anything more about it?
I am not exactly sure how long it's going to take me, but I have been working on essays at my creative writers group that I have facilitated at my library. And I am abundantly blessed, if you will, with being able to advocate for my needs as a person on the autism spectrum through my work, because I work at a branch of the county library, because I chose to come out of the autism closet, if you will, which is something that more and more adults on the autism spectrum are choosing to do. It is not necessarily right for everyone right away. I think that you have to be in a good place to be able to become an open advocate for the larger community, and you have to be in a comfortable position in your job to be able to be in an economic position to come out as being on the autism spectrum, because there is so much discrimination for people with cognitive and invisible disabilities such as autism. And because I have been in the right place at the right time, I have been able to have a creative writers group. I've been able to put on a Community Autism Expo, and I will be encouraging the county library to do more of that in the future. So I have been working on individual essays for my creative workshop about being a person open on about their status of being on the autism spectrum and what it was like growing up. So I want to develop those ideas. I think I might want to start a blog first, to be honest with you. I think that I'm going to be starting a blog in the next couple of months I have been wanting to start a blog forever, but I am a survivor of bullying. And because I am a survivor of bullying, I have been afraid of being cyberbullied. And that is an issue that I have been working on for many years, but I think it is time for me to get over those fears and to put myself out there first through a blog and eventually to develop a larger audience. We now have, forums and technological formats that never existed before that will allow people with cognitive challenges and invisible disabilities that give people the opportunity to develop not just their voice, but to find an audience. And I think that before I do a book proposal, I think I would want to go through that step first.
People here look forward to reading what you write, whether it's on the blog or in the book. So, is there anyone who has a burning question before we say goodbye to Adam and Rob? I don't want to take up too much of their day. I'm not seeing any more questions online. So at this point, Adam, Rob, thank you so much for being our very first virtual / in-person / on-stream speakers. We really appreciate you working with us, working out how to do this together. And just I want to say personally, I appreciate you accepting the invitation to speak for us. I know it can be intimidating to speak for an audience, especially when you can't see them. But I want you to know that everybody here truly appreciated what you both had to say, and we learned a huge amount as a community. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us.
Of course. Everyone, we're going to applaud them. Okay, give me a second to put you off the stream, and then you can go about your life. Okay, now it's safe to be yourself. Thank you again, folks.